everybody, it's Leah, and I am back with a layout, a 12 by 12 layout that I will be doing for the Trying Trends series. Mixed media. You know, it's funny, I have done so much mixed media in the past, and I feel like it's gotten so much more involved, and it's kind of exciting, but I'm a little nervous because it's been a really long time, and I decided that I wanted to do a layout about my friend here, Dave. That's what happens when you let your 8-year-old name it. It becomes named something like Dave. Dave is over my bed and between two pieces of artwork, and he stares. So I decided the title of this layout is going to be called Don't Stare, Dave. Yes, this is the photo I'm going to be doing. It's beautiful silver and gray, and I wanted to pick up the colors that are in the back, in the two pieces of art that are next to my bed, even though you can't see it because we're here, but those colors are all in this collection here from Cedar Lane. If you want to see a picture of the artwork that I am using, it is available on my Instagram, which you can find it under Risa Murray. But I love this paper from Cedar Lane. It's just so beautiful. It's got these little woodland kind of things, and I thought that would be fun, even though he's a gazelle. I know he's from Africa. He's not from the woods, but yep. I am going to be using stencils to do some of my mixed media. I was looking through them and I felt like these were just not the right ones, but I have this one from Recollections that I'm going to use. Absolutely beautiful. This was part of the Color Splash collection, no longer available. I love these stamps, by the way. This will be used on my another one that I'm doing with watercolors. Yep, the background paper I'm going to use is from the Memorandum collection from Pink Paisley. This was a hot buy. You might still be able to get it at Michael's. Great papers. The colors just pick up really nicely. And I looked through what I had in there, and I'm choosing between these three, but I may use all of them eventually. And when you see the photographs of my inspiration pages, you will see why I'm considering all three. Yeah, that's the background paper. I'm also going to use probably these labels somehow. So let's, oh yes, and the what am I going to be using for my mixed media? So first off, let's talk a little bit about mixed media. The idea of using different kinds of paints, textures, has been around for a long time, and people have been doing a lot of mixed media artwork for ages. It's become such an important part of modern art as we know it. I am going to be using these Liquitex Basics mediums. One is a modeling paste. Modeling paste is fantastic if you want to add texture to your layout or piece of art. It creates like a 3D structural texture on the page when you pass it through these things. The stencils. I'm sorry, it's like the middle of the night. The next is this Iridescent Medium. This is a acrylic paint base. I mix my colored acrylic into here and I get a shiny iridescence, and I want that because I'm going to be using a lot of shiny silvers and things, and I wanted to be able to have a little bit of color. I may use both. I may just use one. I haven't completely decided yet. I'm going to be using this Craft Smart turquoise paint as the color that I will be using to add to the bases. My other colors that I'm going to be using and media is Heidi Swap Shine Mists. I love them. They create a beautiful iridescent look on your page. I will be spattering mine, or splattering mine. I'm using the colors white, rose pink, seafoam, and mint. I will also be using, which I've never done before, dry embossing. No, this isn't dry embossing. I'm sorry. This is going to be heat embossing. I have these wonderful powders from Recollections. It was part of my embossing kit. I got a really good deal. All the colors are fantastic. I will most likely use all of them. And they came with the stamp inks. If I use the solids, it will help to bring the brightness of the colors out. You can also use a clear base if you wanted to, a clear stamping medium. And I have that here also. And that allows it to just have the color to show by itself and shine a little bit better. I think there's a clear, one of these is clear. This one's clear, so I think it just has a shot, raises the page up and not necessarily adding color. What else? Yes, so for that I will also be using stamps. I will be adding sequins. I'll be doing all kinds of things. So my inspiration page for my backgrounds and my layout came from these 3 different pictures. And I really liked them because I haven't scrapbooked in a while, and I was like, what am I doing? How am I going to do this layout? So, and I do suggest that if you are going to do a layout and it's been a long time, or just granted, if you feel like your layouts just aren't as good as some of the other ones you're seeing, I would try first to look at sketches to see what sketches you can find that would help you to as a jumping off point, or to just look at in other scrapbookers for inspiration. There's nothing wrong with scrap lifting as long as you credit the person that you were inspired by. I see nothing wrong with it. So yeah, I mean, everybody needs to gain inspiration from somewhere, and I think, you know, you got to find a spot to start. And I was having a hard time because it's been a while. I think I haven't done a scrapbook layout in 4 months. It's been a really long time, probably longer. I can't decide, guys. I think we'll do the gray page. We'll start with that. And what I'm going to do is start by applying my modeling paste to the layout. And then from there I will stamp, and I will do all kinds of things, and I'm going to cover this. I love that one with all of the, I think it's Julie. I love how she just went crazy across that black paper. And because that black paper has such a nice bite to it, I'm sure it just grabbed onto all of that shine mist. So, but I do want to start by doing some modeling paste just to get a little texture. Do I really want to add texture? Yeah, I do. Okay, so I'm going to get started. We're going to go on fast forward, and yeah, here we go. So I start by mixing up my modeling paste and this turquoise paint, and while I do like the texture of it, I didn't like the color. It was just a solid block, and I also hated that I went horizontally with it. I do eventually change and go to vertical. This is that gray. It's got little tiny squares all over it, or diamonds. And I decided to go to the polka dot paper. But I do leave this in so you could see kind of where everything went before I had to change it because it was a mess. So then I'm like, oh, I'm going to dry brush the iridescent paint all over the top of this. And then I go off the thing, and it's just everywhere. And the iridescent paint just didn't stand out very well on its own. The color was gross. And then this also was gross with the embossing. Everything was just a mess, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna start over, pardon my hair, and yeah, because it was just not working. So now I'm gonna start again. I'm going to mix just the iridescent medium with the blue, and it's so much better. It looks so nice vertical. Maybe I should have gone a little bit further out to the right and left, but it's fine. I like it a lot. I'm going to use my Heidi Swap Shine Mist. This is mint. Then I go over with Seafoam, Rose, White, Raspberry. I pull out all my colors. No, I have a lot more, but I've used these colors before in a different layout. I think in the Trying Trends white pages. The colors are very similar. Again, pulling from the artwork that I have in my room. They are my favorite kind of mix of colors, and that's probably why you see them quite a bit. So I love just the layering of this. And I pull out the black at first. And after I did the raspberry, I was like, you know what, that's a bad idea. I'm going to go back. I'm going to add the white in just to kind of lighten it up. And in a moment, I'm going to dry it on the screen, like close to the screen, so you can see how nice it looks with the white against that paper, because the paper is not completely white. It's like a gray and white. And it just kind of adds a little something. I think the black would have just been too heavy. And at the end, when you see the close-ups with all the sequins and everything, and the enamel dots, you'll see that, yeah, the black would have just been, I think it would have weighed it down a little bit. So I've got everything cleaned up. I'm not going to use any more mists at this point. My camera cuts out because I had to change like 4 times to take all the files. It took me like 2 hours literally to do this. So I went to my Cedar Lane paper, and I am pulling just again the colors that I want that from the picture on the wall. Now, I usually like to layer like over and over and over again, little, one on top of the other. And I decide, I'm going to try this strips where I tear the edges, and it does look really cool, but this is not my usual way of doing things. So I struggle a lot to get them in place because my ATG gun is just dead, and now I have to use tear tape and glue. And I didn't want to glue because I wanted to have the option to move stuff around, but I don't really, it's hard to move everything around with the tear tape. It's very hard to get the tape down, and anyway, so I gotta get that gun fixed, man. Or just buy a new one at this point. I don't even care. I'll spend the money. So I'm gonna move these around, and I decide to do the ones with the pictures on the outside, and then the pattern kind of dots on the inside. Now, I really wanted to use the chevron because I do have the chevron on my from my masking, but it just doesn't work out to get it in there. So I really should have figured out a way to do it. Maybe I could have. Anyway, there was a way I probably could have done it, but I didn't. So here I'm just going to layer everything together. I'm loving the way this looks. I love how you get that peak of the medium towards the outside. I'm taking a note from that layout with the title on the left corner at the top, and that's what I want. So I placed my doily down just to see where that is, so I can make certain that I don't lose any of my medium. I feel like I need a little bit more something, so I pull out this pink vellum paper, and you can still see the color, but just barely there, and that gives me the ability to still see my iridescent medium and chevrons poking out from behind. I'm going to start fishing through my embellishments now. These are some Recollection epoxy stickers. They're still available at Michael's right now. Some Prima flare buttons. This no, it's not open book. These frames are from when Heidi swapped the first time she released her planner series. She had these frames. I loved them, and I've been trying to use them up. My goal is to use my stuff up. I haven't been scrapbooking. I had too much stuff, and I think it was overwhelming, so I kind of destashed myself, and stuff is no longer available to me to touch at this point. It will be going away shortly to whoever wants to buy it or take it out at this point. I don't even know. Some Mombi chips, some Mombi stickers, some Amy Tangerine epoxy stickers. I'm just going to add here and there little bits just to kind of fill things out and make it look really cute, because I loved that cluster of full of embellishments, and I really want to use my stuff up. Also, that those Mombi stickers, they are a baby boy package, but I'm going to use them because there are other sentiments in there, and that's a great way to use up things that you have when you're not necessarily doing something in that theme. Find the other sentiments that work for what you need to do. So now because those frames are chipboard, I need to pop up pardon, I need to put my my cluster on pop dots just so it stands up, and it also gives me some shadow and dimension within the page. So now I cut my doilies, and I'm like, these are such thick doilies. Like, they're so nice. And they're not, I mean, they are nice, but they're not thick doilies. They're very thin doilies. They were just stacked up really, really tightly together. And I don't find that out until I cut apart the second set of doilies, and then I'm like, oops. Oh no. Oh well, I'll just have to use them for something else. Anyway, by using the doilies and the frames, that gives me
and then I also have some silver sequins at the end. I get these 3 bits of silver to kind of pull from the silver of Dave's luxurious face that I get to see every single day. So yeah, so you could see I pulled that other doily out finally. I was like, oh, there's probably another doily in there, and I was correct. This Prima flare button that says hello, and it is stuck. I put it down too close, and it was just stuck. I was like, that's where it lives now. So to balance out that pink on that side, I just I pull out this. This is from Open Book collection, Maggie Holmes, I think, and I just add a little bit of American Crafts twine. That washi tape is from the Llama Love Recollections washi, and now I pull a bunch of washies and glittery washies, and I put them all over the place, and some floral washies and stuff, and I put all of my embellishments down and my epoxy stickers, and I've got a little wood veneer camera down there on the left, and this little acorn that was some table scatter from Michael's. I'm sorry you missed all of this. My camera just kept cutting out because it was taking me forever to do this layout. I am rusty. This is why I'm telling you, like, you got to get inspiration from somebody when you're rusty, because you could be going for hours. I mean, and mind you, I gathered everything together like hours before I did this layout because I knew it was going to take me a really long time to get this done. So, that little journaling card at the bottom is from the Jade collection of Project Life. So now I cut apart this memorandum labels. I took a pink one and a purple one, and I'm going to anchor my title down to that. These tile stickers, they're from Dollar Spot at Michael's from like ages ago. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do when I run out. I had to go to like in another package because I was out of S's, and I knew I had a pack somewhere else, I think in my Smash Book kit, and I was like, oh no, I'm going to run out of letters soon. Because I love these letters. They're my favorite. I use them for like everything. But I kept losing them, and I'm like all over the place. They kept falling off that little plastic, and I'm like, I have to find the letters because I don't have too many more. So instead of doing my title up and down, I decide that I'm going to just put it at a little bit of a rakish angle, since everything seems to be fanning out from the center of that very square picture. I think these are Amy Tangerine foam thickers. You get 1 exclamation point in that kit. So I was like, ooh, I better use it now. I don't know if I'll, need it again, but it works perfectly for this. So that was it. That was my one. I mean, I'm sure I could make it out of like another letter or something, and the V was very large, and then I realized later after I put that enormous V down that there were these like greater than symbols that I probably could have used for a smaller V, but I like it. It's kind of like exciting and kind of cartoonish, and that's kind of Dave. That's how he is. Also, when you have an 8-year-old and you ask him to name something, you're going to get a name like Dave. So now I'm going to grab my Glossy Accents, and I'm going to glue so many sequins because I really want this to look really exciting and full, just like Julie's layout. So I start with the silver ones because they are going to be the heaviest looking on the page, and I may have wanted to stop after the silver, but then I'm like, nope, I want the other ones too. This was from the Craftsmith. Maybe it was, no, Celebrate It. That's it. Celebrate It did like holiday sequins. They did a bunch of different packages, but I bought the one with the iridescents and the blue snowflakes, and then I got a gold kit too. Super cheap too. I think I paid like $1 and change. And then I'm going to get all my enamel dots and get them all down. And I think I did like a teal one, a grayish blue one, and these pink ones, and because I really again wanted it to look really, really full and have a lot of dimension and texture. So now I'm just going to do my journaling, and it says Dave is a total peeping Tom. That's all I say about it. and the date. And now I'm going to do some close-ups in real time for you so you can see the details on this layout. I love the dimensionality, all the texture. I love when you touch the page, you can feel everything. You can feel those chevrons. It's very tactile. It's super pretty. You can see all that glittery washi just adds all that texture. And I definitely I'm going to be doing more with, I even bought a new stencil today. It's super cool. Cause I definitely want to use this technique more. I'm really digging, using these mediums, and I want to try it again. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, and definitely check us out on Risa Marie on Instagram to see what great savings are available right now at your local craft stores.